Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to do a bit of an update into Gang. A lot of you guys have asked me for an update on this, so we are going to do it, and the reason why I believe is probably because it's entered the $12 range, and a few people are like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Do I panic sell this company? What? I'm going to sell it all. It's awful. So I'm going to do that all for you today. We'll do a little bit of an update into Gang, and yeah, I mean, $12 now Gang is at. It's absolutely crazy. The progress that the company has made, I feel, in the last year and a half, and that's not reflected on the share price, is really crazy. And as well as that, is that I think that a few people are getting a little bit confused, maybe a little bit emotional, because for me personally, I think my average is $15 and it's now $12, so I am slightly down on this position, but I feel like a few people are getting quite emotional on the share price and looking at the share price and going, oh, it's an awful company, look at the share price, it keeps going down. And a few people are getting a bit like, oh, it's a bad stock, when they're looking at the share price, not actually what's going on with the company inside. You know, when you look at the company inside, I feel like Gang has made a lot of progress over the last year especially, and at the moment that isn't reflected in the share price, but I believe that as long as this company keeps improving how it is doing, that will eventually get reflected in the share price. And yeah, I think I just thought I'd open with that, saying that, you know, I think a few people are getting a little bit of emotional of this stock because of the share price action and not actually looking, okay, what is this company doing? And when you look at that, it's actually really fantastic, and potentially shouldn't really be at 52 close, and the company's share price should have probably made progress to reflect how much positive news there is inside this company. So we're going to go through this all today. Now, if you're on Patreon, go check out the exclusive video that's just gone up. I think it was on Tuesday, which was a live Q&A session, about 45 minutes long. So if you're on the Patreon, do go check that out. We're getting stuck onto Gang. So if we look at the stock right now, it was a very bad day yesterday. Once again, the stock was down 5%, and we are $12. We are pretty much nearly touching $11 now, and we are at 52 close. Look at that, 52 close of $12. Nearly $11, and 52 highs of $31. There's a massive gap between the low and high here on the 52-week range. Look at the market cap, it's now 500 million. It's nearly breaking into the 400 million mark. 500 million market cap for this. Wow, is all I'm going to say. Now, if we look at the stock chart, the stock came onto the stock market the US stock market in the 8th of May. Since then, we're about a year and a half on, and look at this, the stock is actually down 16% since it came onto the stock market. And in that time, the stock has actually had, you know, some decent runs. You know, you look here, after it came on the stock market, it was shot up a crazy amount. You look back here towards the back end of 2020, towards February time, stock market was generally moving in quite a good way there, probably too good of a way, but you saw a massive jump here. And now, once again, we're just kind of downtrending. And like I said, we broke 52 close now. And you look at this stock here and you're thinking, okay, if the stock price is showing me that in the last year and a half, we've not made any progress, in fact, we're down slightly, what is going on? Is this company not making any improvements to itself? Are the financials poor? Are the financials, are they not growing? What is going on here? Because you are thinking, if this hasn't made any progress, the company must be absolutely burning on fire inside, and there's major problems. Now, first of all, let me flick to a PS ratio and just talk about the valuation just slightly for a little bit. At the moment, look at this, it is down at a 4 price to sales ratio, and we are going to be talking about in a second a massive growth stock, and it's down at a 4 price to sales ratio, which is absolutely crazy. Now, you look here, normally when it came on the stock market it was about a 10. Normally it does stay, I know I'm still freeloading Y charts, I'm very sorry. But you know, it normally stays around a 10 here, and we're down at a 4. So what's showing to me here is that, okay, since we've come onto the stock market, our valuation on the price of sales point of view has halved. So there is some sort of growth going on here. There's growth because that valuation is half of what it was a year and a half ago. And you look at what it historically does. The minimum, what we're at right now, set in November the 17th. The maximum, 24 this year, February the 16th, and the average is 12. So on a price to sales ratio point of view, we are way below our average, and look at the difference between where we were at our peak, 6 times this ratio. So right now we're saying this is screaming out the lowest valuation this stock has ever been, with progress as well. And just to put that into context, 4 price to sales ratio. I mean, look here. I mean, DraftKings, which I think is cheap at 13 personally, but that's a 13. Another one, Churchill Downs, is a 6. You know, like a company like Palantir. Look at Palantir, for example. Palantir grows at, what, 50% revenue growth, loses a ton of money. That's 29. Gang is at a 4 price sales ratio, and this company has been absolutely nailing it this year. The growth has been absolutely fantastic. This is not a poor performing company. This company has absolutely smashed what they set out to do this year. 2021 was the growth year for Gang. This was the year where it really started kicking on, and it has done it. This is what I like about management teams. I like management teams that say, this is what we're going to do this year, and they go do it. And I really especially like management teams that say, this is what we're going to do this year, and then it comes to it and go, okay, that's what we said we're going to do, but we've done even better. I like management teams that deliver on what they say and even beat expectations on what they say. And that has happened with Gang this year. 2021 was a year where they positioned themselves to structure where they can put the infrastructure in place to support the growth. So with the EPS side of it, I'm not too bothered. I'm not bothered on the EPS side of it. EPS is something that will come in the next kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That will happen. We know Gang can do profit. The thing is supporting major growth now. And when you have that major growth in place, then we can go back to focusing on profit. And what have Gang done? They have kind of gone, okay, we're going to sacrifice the profitability just slightly this year, but we're going to do it to support some amazing growth. And look at the growth they've just put in. In Q2, look at the revenue. Massive year-over-year growth. Look at the growth here. Look at the recent quarter. Once again, 200% year-over-year growth and a beat once again on expectations. Smashed it 2 quarters in a row. And look at how much they're smashing it. They actually updated their guidance. If you look here, we went into 2021 expecting about 105 million in revenue. Do you know what they're going to do this year now? 125 to 135 million in revenue. This year we have outperformed so much. Management have delivered so much that we have raised our guidance. We have raised our guidance by 20% on what we were expecting this year. This is what you have with Gang. Gang is not performing badly. Like, once again, I just go back to the share price. You think the company is performing terrible here. It's not performing terrible. You look at the financials. I am not spitting opinions out here. I am spitting facts out. I am spitting facts out that Gang have beaten their revenue in the last 2 quarters. They have just grown over 200% in revenue. They have upgraded their guidance from this year by 20%. They have absolutely smashed it. And the stock is below its 52-week lows. It is lower than where it was a year and a half ago. Tell me how that is happening. That is not a fair reflection in the share price right now. This is why I am not bothered about what the share price is doing. I look at what the fundamentals is going on in the company. I look at what management are doing. They are smashing revenue expectations. They are growing triple digits, and they are at the lowest valuation they've ever been. They have hiked guidance by a huge amount and beaten it. That is a company that is absolutely smashing it for me. That is where I've got the confidence in management. A company like what I was talking about yesterday, a tattoo chef, for example, a company that comes out and go, oh, this is our guidance, and then they fail to beat expectations. They have to decrease their outlook. That is a company that is not firing. That is a company that's not meeting expectations. For me, this is a company that is doing really incredible things. They are upgrading what they're doing. They are smashing what they said they're going to do. And that's what I can't believe. You look at what they're doing. You look at the revenue growth of this company, and it's beating all expectations, but boom, the share price goes down. And this is why you can't invest in stocks in the short term, because you look at what the stock is doing here. The valuation makes no sense. You look at the growth is absolutely amazing, beating all expectations, but the share price does nothing. In fact, it's going down. And it's one where you can't be a short-term trader into stocks. You have to stare at what your company is doing. You have to have belief on what your company is doing. And if you are looking at your company and you are happy with your company and how they're performing, the share price will move eventually in the right direction. Gang are doing that. They are absolutely delivering. Sure, the share price isn't moving in the right direction. Not bothered. I stare at what the company's doing financially, and it's just improving, and in fact, it's beating expectations. And let's not forget, the TAM here is huge. With it be the US side of it, Europe, Latin America, Gang are going to have real success through their B2B platform and their B2C platform. And even though the whole kind of area of these gaming stocks are down, you only have to look at DraftKings, Penn National. A lot of these stocks are out of favor right now. That's just the sentiment of where we are right now with these sort of stocks. But people, investors, companies do realize the potential of this TAM in the long term and how successful it's going to be. Gang is in an area where them sort of companies that Gang compete with are getting bought out one after another. If this is going to be such a poor industry, why are all these companies getting bought out all the time? Playtech, one of Gang's rival, there's currently a bidding war going on for this company. This company is having people fight over trying to buy it. I'm sure there's other people looking at Gang and thinking, oh, maybe we should go buy Gang. Probably Gang wants a really good valuation for its company. But we've seen it with William Hill, we've seen it with GNOG. There's a lot of companies in this area that are getting bought out because this is going to be a hot sector in the next few years. And Gang are the market leader in what they do and are fantastic at what they're going to do. And that is going to reflect in the share price. And one other thing, Gang has gone from being a B2B platform now to a B2C platform as well. And this Coolbet acquisition they made is absolutely fantastic. It is showing in the financials how good of an acquisition this has been. This is basically the reason why Gang went, oh, that's a really good company to acquire, let's go do it. They went and did it. At the time, once again, Gang had its critics. The stock, when the news came out that they were going to buy Coolbet, the stock was down 20%. The stock was down 20% on this news that Gang was going to acquire Coolbet. You look at the financials now, it is probably one of the best acquisitions I have ever seen a company make. It is fantastic. You look at the numbers that's putting in for Gang, it is unbelievable. So once again, this shows you that shareholders in the short term, or investors in the short term, look at something and go, oh, that's not going to be good. But you look at what the progress has been about 9 months on now, nearly a year on from this, and it's one of the best purchases I've seen a company make. And once again, you look at this here, one of the best purchases that they've made, not reflected in the share price. Here, Coolbet didn't exist in the company. Now you look at the company, it's lower, and it's got this Coolbet part of the platform. They paid 175 million, I believe it was, for Coolbet. Yeah, 175 million. This company by far now, Coolbet's, because what the Coolbet part of the company now, I mean, Coolbet was probably, I would say the Coolbet platform could potentially be worth 300 million right now. So you think right now, Gang came onto the stock market here, round about 600 million-ish or whatever it was. You now add a Coolbet platform that should be worth way more than what it is, and the Gang platform's grown as well. So you look at Gang and Coolbet, you put the Coolbet and the Gang platform together, and it's lower than the market cap here. Once again, it just does not make sense on the valuation of where it's at right now and the progress that it's made. And just going forward on the partner side of it, Gang have nailed partner after partner. There's so many new partners, whether it be Win, whether it be Churchill Downs. There's all these clients here that Gang have nailed in the last year and a half. And these are now starting to contribute revenue to the platform. They've gone from 3 states to 14 states. They will keep increasing them 14 states. We are now entering the peak time for Gang, Q4 and Q1, the best quarters for Gang, and these partnerships will really start showing up even more in the financials right now. And you look and you think all these clients they've landed, and it's just not reflected in the share price. And the great thing about Gang now is that management team did a presentation. It's about 2 hours long. They did a bit of an Investors Day presentation to kind of show off what they've done and what the plans are going forward, which I thought was really good with management, with the communication side of it. They basically said, look, this is what we've done so far, we've smashed it, and this is what we're going to do going forward. And going forward, they are saying that in 2023, projecting revenue of 225 million to 250 million, and long-term annualized adjusted EBITDA margins estimated to be 30% to 35%. Now, the great thing with this future plan of growth is that Gang and their management team have basically come to us and go, this is the plan for going forward. Sure, I mean, it's great growth year this year, but now we have capitalized on that, and we have now got to adjust to what normality will be for Gang. And still, 30% revenue growth is fantastic. And just to put that into context, analysts were actually forecasting 19% growth. So once again, Gang have come out and said, this is our plan. And that plan that they put out is higher than what analysts were predicting. Now, I've noticed recently analysts have started upgrading their longer term growth for Gang and putting it towards that 30% rate. But once again, it shows you Gang, the management team, have come out and outperformed what analysts and investors were expecting. Is it reflected in the share price? No. But one day it will happen. It should happen. And the thing is that you stick on now. You have a company that is at a PS ratio of 4, 200% revenue growth. Going forward, going to grow at a 30% revenue rate, and he's going to be putting 225 million to 250 million in with adjusted EBITDA margins of 30 to 35% in 2023. Now you think about that. You think about that. The projection of growth in the next kind of 2 years, the next 24 months. You've got to stick that on. This is currently trading at a market cap of 500 million. 500 million buys you a company growing at 30% revenue rate, adjusted EBITDA margins of 30 to 35%, and potential revenue in 24 months of 225 million to 250 million. I mean, even right now it's doing 125 to 135 million. Just work that out. Work out them numbers, work out the growth, look at other companies that trade at this valuation, compare Gang to that valuation and go, is this deserved? I'll leave that with you. I know my thoughts. And I guess, I have no control of where the share price will go up. I have no control of where the share price goes down. Big thing for me is just stare at the company. Is the company improving? And I think the company is improving at a huge rate. And in my opinion, right now, Gang should be a $20 stock plus. Without a doubt, $20 stock plus. And that's fair value. I'm not talking if it was overvalued. If we talk about a fair value for Gang, it is a $20 plus stock all day. $20 to $29, it should be in that range. Whether the stock market's a little bit bullish, a little bit beaten down, rotation through certain industries. This is for me a easy $20 stock right now. And that's, I think, a very fair valuation. Now you consider where this is going to go in the next kind of 2 years, the next 24 months. For me, I look at this and it is, if it hits the financials that it said it's going to do, for me, I am talking about a $30 stock by the end of 2023. $30 plus. And that, once again, in my opinion, that is a fair valuation. So for me, I look at this and think the company has delivered. It has smashed expectations. And going forward, once again, it looks like it's going to smash expectations. Share price, sure, it's not showing it, but this is a game of patience, and I look at what the company's doing and I'm happy with the financial performance. Sure, the share price isn't moving in the right direction. Maybe I'd like it to be a bit better than where it is, but at the moment, I cannot criticize the company because it is delivering. There's a difference between when management say they're going to do something and they do it and they over-deliver, and the difference between having a stock or invested into a company that say they're going to do something and they under-deliver. I look at this and they're beating expectations, and the improvements they've made with the company at some point will reflect in the share price. And if I'm more than ever, I'm probably the bullish that I've ever been on Gang, especially down at the $12 valuation. So for you guys wanted updating Gang, hope it's useful. If you could hit the like button, that'd be absolutely amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.